This year has been a crazy year. I actually found myself doing something I never thought I'd do, buying multiple racing games. I went ahead and I bought 3 of this year's biggest racing games, and here are my thoughts on them. Before we jump in though, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. I'm still a very new content creator and it helps out a lot. Let's go for 5 likes on this video. Anyway guys, let's get right into it. The first game I want to talk about is Mario Kart World. To start off with, I'd like to say Mario Kart World hate is so forced, dude. And this is coming from one of the biggest Sonic glazes ever. You'll see so much discourse online about this game and like all these negative things when it's compared to other titles. But in actuality, I don't think it's that bad. The term or the statement comparison is the thief of joy is so like, it fits this game to a T, I think. Mario Kart World was my very first Mario Kart in a long time, and I thought they did something extremely well with it. The introduction of the whole parkour type system is super fun. I think, like, when I look at this game overall, seeing what type of player base they're trying to market it to, I think genuinely they made this kind of game for people that like to sink time into getting good at something. The low skill floor and the very high skill ceiling for Mario Kart World is something that I think can give the game on its own hours and hours of playtime. I think to this day, I still see new spots and new tricks for each of the maps, and I think that kind of depth within a kart racer is always nice to see and always welcome. Now, the music is really big to me. I think in a lot of these types of game, music has to be on point for me to truly enjoy them. And I think the reason for that is when you're kind of mind numbed out, you have to have something fire in the background that accentuates certain feelings. I think the music in this game is really fun to listen to and it fits the vibes of the races pretty well. While I do believe there are problems, like when looking at like the normal races, for example, I think that the true game mode of Mario Kart World is the knockout mode, where essentially you get knocked out if you don't finish in a certain time. I think this game mode happens to be one of my favorite, let's just say, racing game modes in general. Like, I think it makes so much sense and I think it's super fun, but I also like only think it's able to work because Mario Kart World happens to be Mario Kart World. I think any kart racer realistically could pull it off if they had enough players, but like a 12 kart racer won't work versus like a 24, for example. Anyway, I think the most like fun I've had on the game has been Knockout Tour, and I think it makes the most sense, and I think it constantly keeps you on edge. Now, to kind of finalize my thoughts on Mario Kart World, do I regret getting it at all, and do I think it's worth it? Now, honestly, I don't think that like the purchase, I regret it at all. I think my time was super well spent on the game, and I think it's something I can always refer back to when I want to chill and try some unique things for a racing game. Now, do I think it's worth the purchase? That's a whole different story. For $80 or whatever retail is, no, for sure not. But if you happen to buy Mario Kart World bundle for the Switch 2 because you wanted the Switch 2 anyways, I think it's completely worth it. $50 for a really solid mainline Nintendo racer is definitely worth the money. The next game on the list out of the 3 is Kirby Air Riders. Let me tell you right now, this game, Kirby Air Riders, is so freaking interesting. My first time playing it, I was on a trip to like a friend's game night event, and I played it in the car. When I tell you, I did not know what I was looking at, I really do mean it. Kirby Air Riders is probably the most hectic kart racer I think I've ever touched in my entire life. Genuinely, it's like if rainbows threw up on your screen constantly with occasional explosions. I think this racer happens to have one of the highest learning curves despite only having 2 real button inputs. Like, I think I've been playing for maybe like a week now, and genuinely, I still feel like I suck. Like, I still feel like I don't have a solid like grasp on the controls. With all honesty, I don't even see this game as a racing game. It feels so much like a fighter or something like that. I don't even know. Like, genuinely, like, it doesn't feel like a racing game, but it is a racing game. I really don't know. I think the big positives of this game is that it feels fresh. Like, I don't think there's anything out there like Kirby Air Riders but Kirby Air Riders. I also happen to think that if you like the feeling of like a Smash or like kart racers when they have the really like super nuts overpowered game modes where you're only getting the cool abilities. I think it gets really close feeling wise to, I guess, both of them. I think my only negative about the game is the initial learning curve. I know I just said I suck, right? But I've seen people try it for the first time and instantly not like it because visually and physically it's so odd to play. While most people would say, well, that's their problem, bro. They should give the game more time or something like that. I believe things like kart racers, you should always be able to pick up and have family and friends like just able to play easily. Because at the end of the day, I think kart racers should be for the casual audience, or like it ruins the fun of things. Lastly, do I regret buying Kirby Air Rides or Kirby Air Riders, excuse me? And do I think it's worth the purchase? I think that Kirby Air Riders is a very valuable game to have in my collection. In terms of its uniqueness, I don't think there's anything that can scratch Kirby Air Riders, like that itch that I now have for the game. I think that's a great thing too. Do I think it's worth the money? The game is about 70 bucks. So honestly, I'm half and half. I'm half and half for sure. I think 70 bucks for a game is pretty crazy for any game, realistically. But I guess there's enough content in the game for me to feel like it's worth $70, but it's really tough. It's really tough. Would I suggest getting the game if it's on sale or something like that? Yes, 1000%. But would I suggest overall getting the game if it's 70 bucks flat? I'd say if you're Infinite Mr. Moneybag, sure, why not, right? But I think if it's like this or something cooler that's like also a game that you've been wanting, then go for the other game, because maybe this game is not going to be better than the other game. I will say though, overall, Kirby Air Riders has been a unique experience, super fun, awesome game that I loved playing. I enjoyed it almost wholeheartedly, and it's now in my head as a game, right? Like it just exists, which I think is one of the most impressionable or important things for a game to do, to now just have it. Oh, like, oh man, let me go play some Kirby Air. Like I just have it there now, which is super awesome. It's finally time to talk about my glorious king, Sonic. Sonic Racing Crossworlds happens to be at the pinnacle of racing games, not only this year, but racing games I've ever played. Now, before I start talking about this game, I want to say I'm a huge Sonic glazer. Sonic is probably top 10 all of fiction character for me. That might be a bit of a crazy take, honestly, but would I really be a Sonic fan if I didn't have these types of crazy takes? Now, despite my glaze, I will say I've tried to form my opinions on this game from a non-biased perspective. And despite saying that, I must say Sonic Racing Crossworlds happens to be one of, if not the best racing game I've ever played. Now, my first and biggest thing about the game, in all honesty, is music. Like I said before, music has, like, honestly, always carried in any type of game. And having good music is super important. I genuinely believe a good OST can bump a game like 2 points when scoring it out of 10. And when I say Sega decided to not only craft some of the most banger pieces of music to put in this game, they also added some absolute all-timer songs from other games too. Last thing that I'll say about the music in this game, they literally added a jukebox where you can put your favorite tracks into and play them randomly throughout each and every single one of the races, which happens to be one of the coolest and best features ever. If Mario Kart World had something like this, I'd go crazy. If Kirby had something like this, I'd go crazy. I'm just saying more games should allow you to like just play whatever music you want on whatever track. Now, second thing I should probably talk about is the actual racing itself. It happens to be one of like some of the most fun, mind-numbing racing I've ever done in a long time. When Mario Kart World came out, I thought nothing would beat that game. I'm gonna be honest. I knew Sonic was gonna come out, but I thought Sonic was cooked. I was like, man, they're gonna drop another trash Sonic game, because it happens. I get it. As a Sonic fan, I'm just used to it. But when I tell you, despite Mario Kart World having all the parkour and stuff like that, Sonic Racing Crossworlds really had me in awe of the fact that they happen to make something more simple, cooler than deadass doing like parkour and backflips and all these tricks off of walls onto another wall, doing all this stuff. It's like crazy, dude. Crossworlds happens to find a good balance of cool visuals, fast pace, and cool movements. And the game feels oddly smooth, which is crazy. But I think I'm driving like, maybe not I think I'm driving, but when I drive on like all the different vehicle types or whatever, usually with these types of games, they some vehicle types feel worse than the other. I think every single vehicle type in this game feels good. And that brings me to my next point, customizability. Every single car in the game has different stats and different parts that you can mix and match for each and every single one of the cars. You can fully paint each and every single one of the cars, add decals and effects on top of them, and there's a bunch of stuff. Also, you can change the way you race even more by having the gadget system, which is really, really cool. Gadgets are like perks for you and your car that change the game. And as far as I know, the game doesn't feel like it has one big meta, which is something I was super worried about when I heard about the gadget system. The gadgets though, they just add so much depth to the game, so much difference in like gameplay and the styles, how you play. And then I don't know, it just makes everything better, bro. Like it genuinely, like I think this game, while these features are kind of simple, they just happen to make the game work. And I think that's super important. The last thing I'll talk about is how the game handles content. I think a lot of the time when you have these kart racers, people end up stop playing after a little while because it's just like, damn, what else is there? But not only do you have plenty of different modes, and when I say plenty, I mean a lot of different modes on the game gives you actual reasons to play them. Some modes unlock different music to add to your jukebox, some give you character skins, and some give you different vehicle parts. I think overall the progression is really, really cool, really awesome, and really good. Now, last thing I'll say about Sonic Racing Crossworlds, I think like if I could make this game better at all, I'd like, I don't even know, man. Like there's just so much depth to it. I didn't even mention how they have like the whole ranked system, which I think is really, really cool too. It gives you a reason to play online. But yeah, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, I guess I should say the thing. Do I regret getting Sonic Crossworlds at all? And do I think it's worth it? Now, if I even have to really answer this question, I feel like you haven't been listening. But genuinely, I think this is an all-timer game. Any price point, honestly, if you told me I would get a good kart racer experience and I really wanted to like play a kart racer, I'd buy the game regardless. But not only is this game worth the price that it is normally, which I think is like 60 or 70 bucks, I think the game genuinely is the first game out of all three that I've listed here to go on sale. And I think it's the best out of all of them. So realistically, if you don't even like kart racers like that, if the game happens to go on sale half off or whatever, might as well just buy it, right? Like I think genuinely you have so much fun. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, guys, in a while, crocodiles, and I'll see you boys later, alligators. Peace out, peace.